Alright, this is block 4 from topic 2. You may have noticed we skipped block 3 for some of you. Block 3 is just for advanced students. So we are on the right block, block 4. So you need to make sure you're on the right page in your workbook. I'm not sure what page it is, y'all. When someone finds it, tell them what page it is. Okay, now that you're at the right page, we're going to go through some problems to practice here. We're going to look at number 1. An oatmeal recipe calls for 1½ cups of oats and 2½ cups of water. For each question, use a unit rate to answer the questions by filling in the blanks. A says, if you have 3 cups of oats, how many cups of water do you need? Okay, so I have 3 cups of oats. I need to figure out how much cups of water I need for this particular recipe, and I want it to use this ratio so that it tastes the same. Alright, so first thing that I don't like seeing, because I know I'm about to do some math with fractions, is this mixed fractions. I want to change those to improper because it's easier to work with. So I'm going to change 1½ to improper. So 2 times 1 gives you 2, plus 1 gives you 3. Keep the denominator. Same thing with this one. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. So this becomes 5 halves of the water. Alright, so it says if you have 3 cups of oats, how many cups of water do you need? So I am looking for some cups of water per oat. That's important. I want to know how many cups of water, that's what the question asks, per oats. They're giving me how much oats. So the word per represents division. So I'm looking at water per oats. Just like when I have miles per hour, that's really a division bar. So this is water per oats. Okay, I know that the water for this recipe was 5 halves. So I'm going to write 5 halves. Then I have a division bar. Well, I don't like writing a fraction and a fraction, so I'm just going to write division. And then it says oats. Oats was 3 halves. So now I have a math problem. Well, I don't ever divide fractions. You always, I forget what trick y'all like to call it, where you keep, change, flip, I think you call it. So I'm going to keep 5 halves, then multiply. It's really called multiply by the reciprocal. Reciprocal means to flip your fraction. So I'm going to flip it. Now I can multiply my fraction. I get 10 over 6. And that can reduce to 5/3. So now I have cups of water per oats by doing this division problem of water per oats. So if I multiply by 5/3 cups of water per oats, I should know how much water I need. Well, I taught y'all the trick of how to multiply whole numbers times fractions. You do the whole number times the top, so 3 times 5 would be 15. 15 divided by 3 gives you 5, so there would be 5 cups of water. Okay, that was A. B, if you have 2 cups of oats, how much cups of water? This is almost the same type problem. Well, I've already found kind of a scale factor in A, so I'm using that same 5/3. No need for me to do that again. This was water per oats. Math people are lazy, so I'm being lazy. So same thing, I need to know how much water I need if I have 2 cups of oats. So 2 times the top gives me 10. 10 divided by 3 doesn't simplify, so I can leave it 10 over 3. Or I could really simplify that to 3 1/3. Either of those answers are fine. Alright, C, if you have 5 cups of water, how many cups of oats do you need? Alright, so we're changing it up. So I was finding water per oats. Now I'm finding oats per water. So my fraction or division problem is different. Oats divided by water per, that's your division. So I need to rework my scale factor here. So oats, I use the fraction 3/2. So I have 3/2. This is the division problem, so I'm going to write divide. Water is 5/2. We never divide fractions, we keep change flip. Three times 2 gives me 6. 2 times 5 gives me 10. And that can simplify to 3/5. So 3/5 oats per water is now my scale factor. Now I'm able to figure out how much oats I need if I have 5 cups of water. So 5 times the top gives me 15. 15 divided by 5 gives me 3 cups of oats. Okay, how many cups of oats? It told me the water, so I'm using the same scale factor I've already found. 3/5 oats per water. 3 times 3 gives me 9. 9 can't divide by 5 evenly, so I can leave it 9 over 5, or 1 4/5 cups of oats. Alright, so what I was looking for said how many cups of water. That's how I knew what came first in my per. Water per oats. That's how I set up my fraction to find my scale factor. Alright, we're going to flip the page and take a look at problem 2. And it says, Brianna is making lemon ginger punch for a picnic. Sounds disgusting. Her recipe calls for 3/4 cups of lemonade, 1/3 cup of ginger ale. She wants to make 26 cups of lemon ginger punch. She wants to keep the ratio of the ingredients the same as in the original recipe. How many cups of lemonade and how many cups of ginger ale will she need? Okay, the animations aren't too crazy, so we're going to watch the animations. And she first creates a table. She has cups of lemonade, cups of ginger ale, finding the total cups. She first gets a common denominator between 4 and 3, finds it's 12. She adds these together to see how much total she has. She has 13/12, which can simplify to 1 1/12. Alright, so you're filling this in the first part of your chart. You might need to pause the video or rewatch the explanation. Okay, we're not done figuring out the question because total cups of punch, there's only 1 and a cup of punch with a little bit left over. She wanted a total of 26 cups, so we're not even close to her total. So we're going to figure out what she does with her math. And she has another, she's multiplying this times 12 to see where that gets her. She gets that, turns to 36 over 4, which reduces to 9. She multiplies that times 12, a scale factor of 12, and gets 12 over 3, which simplifies to 4. And then 13/12, she multiplies that times 12, and she gets 13. So now she has a total cups for the punch to be 13. She's closer, but she still hasn't made enough for the punch. She needs 26 cups. You need to copy this down in your chart. You may need to pause the video. So she figures out that she needs to double what she did here. So she needs 26. So she divided 26 by 13, found her skill factor is 2. She's going to multiply these amounts times 2 to see how much lemonade she needs and how much ginger ale she needs. Now she's able to find she needs 18 cups of lemonade and 8 cups of ginger ale, and together that gives her the 26 cups of this nasty punch. I don't know if it's nasty, it just sounds nasty. Alright, moving to problem 3. Problem 3 says find 2 unit rates associated with the ratio of lemonade to ginger ale in Brianna's punch recipe. Well, you wrote the chart above this problem, and I need 2 different unit rates. Remember, unit rates have to have a 1 involved. So I need to find some sort of unit rate for this punch recipe. So a little side note to get our brains thinking about this problem. If I said there was 100, if I was going 100 miles in 2 hours, you would quickly tell me that your speed or your unit rate is 50 miles in 1 hour. And all you did here was divide 100 divided by 2, and you got 50 over 1, which is just 50 miles per hour. Okay, that's what we're doing here. I don't always have to write my 2 different fractions. I can look at this first guy here and see it's a math problem, because fraction bars are just division bars. 100 divided by 2 is 50. So I have 50 miles per hour. So I'm going to use that information on my lemonade, and I'm going to look back at the chart that they gave me here, and I see I'm going to compare cups of lemonade to cups of ginger ale. 3/4 lemonade to 1/3 ginger ale. I know that's not a unit rate right now, but I'm going to make it one just like I made this one. So I have 3/4 lemonade, call it L. Ratios are fractions. Yes, it's a fraction inside a fraction. And I have 1/3 ginger ale. Okay, I need to make a unit rate. I made a unit rate here just by dividing. I'm going to divide these. So I need to divide, I'm going to rewrite this like I like to see division problems. So 3/4 divided by 1/3. Well, we don't like to divide fractions, so I'm going to rewrite that to 3/4 times the reciprocal, which is keep, change, flip. 3 times 3 gives me 9. 4 times 1 gives me 4. So now I'm able to write a unit rate just like I did here. I had 50 over 1, and that turned into 50 miles per hour. Now I have 9 lemonade to 4 ginger ales. That's my unit rate. I'm going to leave it 9/4 cups of lemonade. I'm going to leave it as L per ginger ale. I'm leaving that as G. Remember, I'm lazy. That is 1 unit rate. I could flip these two and look at ginger ale to lemonade. Just like I could flip this and look at hours to miles. In this case, it would have turned out the same answer, just written different. So 1 hour, I traveled 50 miles. This looks different. That would have been 2 different ratios, this one and this one. Okay, so I'm just flipping it. So I have 1/3 for ginger ale, 3/4 for lemonade. I don't like seeing math problems in a fraction of a fraction, so I'm going to rewrite this with a division bar. So 1/3 divided by 3/4. Don't like that. So I'm going to rewrite it as multiplication. So that's going to be 1/3 times 4/3. Keep change flip. Gives me 4/9. Now I have that magic number to write my unit rate. So 4/9 cups of, this time ginger ale was first, ginger ale per lemonade. There's a different unit rate. So there are 2 unit rates. I just took my numbers and flopped them the way they were written. Alright. Looking at problem 4 and 5, it uses this information. So, problem 4 says, if Brianna has 8 cups of lemonade, how many cups of ginger ale does she need to make the punch? Well, I need to use one of these unit rates is helpful. So she has 8 cups of lemonade. So she has the lemonade right now. She needs to know how much ginger ale she needs. So the useful one would be this one, her lemonade. I already know she has the lemonade, so I need the per of what I've had. And she has the lemonade. So 4/9 is going to be my magic scale factor number. And scale factors, remember scale factors are multiplied. So I have my 8 cups times my scale factor, which was 4/9. And whole number times top, so that gives me 8 times 4, 32. And I have to ask myself, can 32 divide by 9 evenly? It cannot. So 9 goes into 32 3 whole times with 5 left over. So she would need 3 5/9 cups of ginger ale. Alright, number 5. If she has 8 cups of ginger ale, so this time she knows how much ginger ale I'm looking for lemonade. So going back here, she knows how much ginger ale, looking for lemonade. So this would be my useful scale factor to use. Her what I have. she has the ginger ale. So I'm going to do 8 times 9/4 this time. 8 times 9 gives me a whopping 72. 72 cannot divide by 4 evenly. So I have to fix. Oh, yes it can. 4 times what gives me 72? And actually gives me 18 cups of lemonade. So if she had 8 cups of ginger ale, she would need 18 cups of lemonade to make that recipe. Alright, and last problem I am working is problem 6. And it says Kevin can walk 2/3 of a mile in 2/5 of an hour. So he's not walking a whole mile, and he's not taking a whole hour to do it. And it says he lives 1 mile from his school. Use this information to complete the statements. So it looks like we have some boxes of answers we can choose from. At this rate, Kevin can walk blank miles per 1 hour. So, we all last notes we worked with miles per hour and we wrote them as fractions. So miles, the division bar stands for per hour. And so, how many miles was talked about up here? Well, 2/3 of a mile was talked about. And how much time? 2/5 of a time. Okay, and again, we don't like seeing fractions and fractions. So just like I had said here, did we have to ask ourselves what we did from 2 to get to 1? No, we just divided this and knew 100 divided by 2 was 50. We're going to do the same thing here. I'm going to take this and divide it by this. And come down here for more work space. So I have 2/3 divided by 2/5. Well, we don't divide fractions. We keep, change to multiplication, take the reciprocal. 2 times 5 gives me 10. 3 times 2 gives me 6. And I need to simplify that because I don't see that answer up there. So I know 6 goes into 10 one whole time with 4 left over. Still don't see that answer. I can simplify to 1 whole and divide both those by 2. I get 2/3. Do I see that answer? I do. So my unit rate is 1 whole and 2/3 of a mile in 1 hour. Okay, and the last statement says, at this rate, it will take Kevin blank hours to walk to school. Okay, well I just found his rate. It takes him 1 2/3 miles in 1 hour. So I'm going to use that in my miles per hour. So I know he walks this far, 1 2/3 mile in 1 hour. Okay, so I need to divide this to see how long it will take him. I gotta find a scale factor. So I'm gonna rewrite this first. I don't like seeing it written as a mix, so I'm gonna change that to improper. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 2 is 5. So 5/3 divided by 1, but I need 1 written as a fraction. So I'm just going to go 3 over 3. We agree that still represents 1. I just use 3 because that's what this denominator is. Alright, and I had a goof, so even great mathematicians have goofs, so I'm going to erase what I have there. I wrote it all. I was just on the roll here. Okay, here I went on the first statement, I went miles per hour. So that's why I wrote miles per hour. Here we're looking at some sort of hours per mile, because I'm looking for hours this time. So I need to rewrite this hours per mile. Well, using that information that I found on this last one, it took me 1 hour to walk this 1 2/3 mile. Now I can set this up and into a division problem, and again I'm going to change this 1 to 3/3 divided by, I'm going to change this to improper, that becomes 5/3. We can't multiply that, so I need to flip this guy and change it to multiplication. So we can't divide that. That becomes, now I can multiply straight across. Gives me 9/15. I don't see that answer up here, but I notice this can simplify. I can divide both by 3. Gives me 3/5. I do see that. So it takes Kevin 3/5 of an hour to work that. Alright, there is no homework in your student workbooks, but there will be some online things to do that we might do the next class period, or you might have to do it at home. Check the board to make sure. Thanks for listening.